smart, literate, storytelling singer-songwriter who is, it's just a great double bill. I'm not even sure who's headlining because literally they're both,
equal,
deserve to be headliners.
Both to be deserved on there.
Measure.
Wow.
So, that's this Saturday. So
are you going?
Weekend.
Are you going?
I'm going to try to go because I got nothing going on.
There you go.
So,
but there's so much music all the time in the Hudson Valley. It's like you wish you could almost clone yourself.
It used to be, Rita, and I've been up here, and I guess I'm hardly a local, but I moved up in 2000 to Saugerties. So I've been here a minute. But yeah, if you got like a good show a week or two back then, you were doing good. Now it's like almost every night.
Every single night. And we are speaking with Will Hermes. My recording messed up for a second, so hopefully we're going to work this out and get this going, and we're talking again.
We can fix it in the mix, right?
Okay, well, yeah, you know how to do that. Okay, good. So Will, let's go back in time a little bit and go back and say, like, this is your life, okay? You're a New Yorker, Jamaica.
Yes. Jamaica, Queens.
When did you start listening to music, like as a teenager, younger, like really get music and like really be interested in it?
I have two standout memories. One is of sitting in my basement, which is a finished basement, on a black vinyl couch, listening to a black Panasonic AM radio and just with my ear glued to the music channel, I don't know, maybe WABC, whatever it was, and listening long enough to hear them start repeating songs because there was a pop music station. They would play songs on rotation. This must have been mid-'60s. So I have that early memory, and I also have an early memory of seeing the Monkees on television, and not National Geographic, but the band, with Michael Nesmith, etc., and of going to the public library with my mom in Jamaica. The main branch of the Queens Public Library was in Jamaica. We take the bus there, and there was a record store nearby, and there were pictures of the Beatles and the Monkees in the window. And I was like looking at these pictures like, wow. And I seem to remember a clerk or the owner came out and said like, oh, wow, I have photos of both bands. Which one would you like? And I picked the Monkees.
Oh, wow, really?
Over
Monkees
the Beatles.
Over the Beatles.
But, would I make the same choice today? Maybe not.
Right, but you were young and little, and maybe you liked the way they looked, and it was different or something like that.
Yes, a lot to learn. The power of television.
Yeah, it really is. Yeah. Did journalism, did writing come early to you? Were you interested in writing? Was music first, writing first? Or how did you get to be this amazing journalist? And your interest in music, how did they combine, and where did they merge?
They were parallel interests. Certainly my mom was a bookworm. I loved books, and loved to write. And that I remember going back to elementary school, writing scripts for horror movie plays or movies that had roles for my friends in them. And then I learned that in high school, while I had problems with certain classes, I did seem to, do pretty well in the classes that I could write a paper in.
Like English, you rocked it.
English, social studies, that sort of stuff. So then I got to college, which was SUNY Binghamton.
And majored in?
And majored in, I started off in I think I was angling to be a film major, wound up doing communications and taking some film courses, and really wound up spending time at the college radio station there, WHRW-FM, which is still on the air, 90.5.
And anybody can get it online nowadays.
Yep.
Caroline went to Ithaca, and they have a great radio station.
Legendary,
also.
Another great one.
Yeah, and it's like, and here we are broadcasting from a college radio station here at Vassar College, and it's just, I don't know. I'm late to the party. I always get to the party. Sometimes I'm a little late. But, being involved in college radio for the last 10 years, it really is amazing what I've opened up to since my daughter's been in college, and I listen to other college radio, Fordham. Like, there's just really good radio stations.
Love that, keeping it lit, because
Yeah.
it's a great tradition.
Mhm.
And,
Yes.
I'm so glad that this sstation is still thriving. This is
Yeah.
one of the greats. And
Thank you. We've been when I first came here. I had 45 years we've been as an FM signal. Longer
amazing.
as
And a strong signal.
and a strong
you have
signal.
some coverage area
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
south of here,
South-
like northern Westchester,
Northern Westchester,
Rockland.
We go
Orange,
into
maybe.
Danbury, like into Connecticut. We go
Amazing.
into Sullivan County, Ulster, those whole parts there. Go up to maybe Red Hook, Rhinebeck, but like in Saugerties, you won't get us. But online, you can.
Yeah,
Speaking of
online,
Saugerties, happy birthday, Danny Melnick. I don't expect you to be listening to my show today, but if you're listening to the podcast later, I do want to wish Danny Melnick a happy birthday today, because that is where Will and I met at their anniversary party. Right?
Yes, at the local up in Saugerties. Danny,
Saugerties.
one of the great promoters of music in the Hudson Valley, has been for many, many years. We're lucky to have him.
Oh boy, aren't we?
Working with Isabel,
Yeah.
who's also
And
been
the
doing
two
great
of them
work.
that they happen to just wind up living, because they're business partners, they both living in Saugerties, and how lucky we are that they're like, hey, let's figure something out and do it, and he with his strong jazz background, her with her world music, and this beautiful match made, and we're the beneficiaries of it.
Yes, and we were talking during the break about how that's the kind of place, and there are other places like that in the Hudson Valley, where you don't have to know a thing about who's playing. You just go. You trust their curatorial instincts, and you will see something that will blow your mind.
Exactly.
Every time.
And
Every
that's what
time.
Danny always says, because I have him on at least twice a year. It's like, trust us. Just
Yes.
come and just trust us.
Yes.
And it's exposed me to a lot of music that I've not been familiar with. And I've never walked away saying, gosh, I wish I didn't come tonight. The exact opposite. Like, I'm so glad I was here to experience this.
Right, and I would say the folks at Tubby's
Yeah.
in Kingston, who book somewhat different music, although they definitely overlap. They're both into cumbia bands, kind of like modern psychedelic cumbia bands, because I've seen cumbia bands in both places. But Tubby's is doing such great work, inexpensive, any night of the week if you've got an open mind, and occasionally you'll need earplugs, but it's rock, punk, noise, international music, African pop, cumbia, dub, dance music, all sorts of stuff. And
Love it.
good food.
Avalon is pretty unique also.
And Avalon, which
In Catskill.
Catskill, which I want to talk about, very similar to Tubby's. It's a little further drive from me, so I don't get up there as often as I'd like. But I want to talk about something they're doing at the end of the summer.
Okay. Yeah. No. Oh, yeah. They're doing that thing, because we're going to
Drum
play some of that
Fest.
music there. So you're in college. Okay. Let's step back. And you're in Binghamton. And what happened to you after college? Where did you go after college?
Well, in college, to answer the question from a while back, college radio and college newspaper dovetailed, and I started writing about music there. So after college, I was like, what do I do? I was kind of, thinking about, like, how do I break into radio? Got a commercial radio job, hated it. In Binghamton, it's just the worst. They tell you what to play. You have to sit through commercials. Not my thing.
Right.
Respect to the people who
do it.
can
Yeah.
do it well.
Yep.
And got a teaching degree, taught high school English for a little bit in New York, then went to grad school out in Minneapolis, and did radio and wrote out there, and that's where I got my first journalism job.
At City Pages.
Indeed.
Yes.
Indeed. The
Yes.
late lamented great alternative news weekly, at one point owned by the Village Voice parent company, but
Really?
very in the spirit of the Village Voice, both in their arts coverage and in their hard-hitting investigative news reporting.
After Minneapolis, you also spent some time in L.A., or did you just work for an L.A. magazine?
Actually, what was the jump after Minneapolis? We were there for a long time. We were there, Ann and I, my partner, were there for 6 years.
Oh.
And then we jumped over to the Bay Area for a
Okay.
little while.
Uh-huh.
So we were in Northern California just for a bit. And I was just freelancing there. That was in the 90s. And then I came back to New York, which is where family was. And I got a job with Spin Magazine.
Mm-hmm.
And that was a great run while it lasted.
Mm-hmm.
It still exists sort of in a sort of shell internet presence. But
that must have been like really cool. Like you went into the office at that time, right? Because back then it was going in an office, or was it not?
Yeah. No, it was absolutely going into an office and, sifting through physical media, deciding what we were gonna, we were gonna cover. Like it was sort of like the, not quite the anti-Rolling Stone, but we were definitely like trying to do the stuff that Rolling Stone at that time wasn't doing so well, like covering hip hop, covering, dance music.
Rolling Stone, meaning they covered what, more mainstream music, or?
Yeah, they were covering big pop stuff and not, not stuff. It was more rock oriented. They've changed, and I've been writing for Rolling Stone for many years.
How'd you get that job?
That was, I've always been a freelancer. That's always been kind of my spirit, because like there are things that I like about different magazines that would allow me to do different things as a writer there. So, and then I'd chafe against the inability to do certain types of writing at, outlet X, outlet Y. So I guess, I started freelancing for Rolling Stone back in the day because I was freelancing for a magazine in the West Coast, which maybe some music nerds out there will remember, called Option. And it was kind of like a big zine published in the Pacific Northwest. And it was very much like alternative music, like Sun Ra was like on multiple covers. And they covered rock, they covered, out jazz. And one of the guys working there, Jason Fine, who actually is a Hudson Valley resident
And Rolling Stone person.
Yes, he hired me. He was like, dude, go down to Athens, Georgia, and do a story on this group of musicians that call themselves the Elephant Six Collective, which was such a fun, great story to report. Basically carrying the torch of Kate Pearson and the B-52s and REM and the whole Athens music scene. This was the next generation. And, so it's Neutral Milk Hotel, Jeff Mangum, who's had some roots up around here. Anyway, that got it.
Wow.
That got that connection started.
Wow. So cool. A lot of great concerts. Are there like a few that really stick out for you that you've been to concert-wise, like maybe 2, 3, 4, like when someone says, what's your favorite? Are there some that just like, wow, I can never forget that show? That was just over the top.
Oh, man.
Too many to count?
Probably too many to count. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah.
Seeing Lamont Young perform the well-tuned piano for 5 some odd hours in a loft space during college, that was pretty cool. Seeing Einstein on the beach. I guess these are durational memories. Seeing the 80s revival of Einstein on the Beach at Brooklyn Academy of Music, the Philip Glass, Robert Wilson opera, super memorable. I don't know. Seeing television at CBGB's when I was in high school.
Wow.
That was a big one.
Do you remember your first concert?
Yeah, I do. It was Queen at the Beacon Theater.
Get out.
Totally. Night at the Opera tour.
Whoa.
Freddie Mercury in hot pants.
Wow.
I was like, what?
What? Oh, my gosh.
And smoke and flashbots.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. What a first concert. Mine was Alice Cooper at the Civic Center here in freaking Poughkeepsie.
Nice. Nice. Was Billion Dollar Babies tour or later?
I don't even remember, but I don't think my ears have been correct since. I think that's when my hearing loss started. Was with
you and me both.
man.
Bring earplugs, kids.
Yes, it's true. Now I'm just like, here, earplugs. They're really like, because when you're young, you're infallible. Nothing can happen. But yes, we grow.
Tinnitus is real.
Yeah, it is real. It is real, and you're seeing it happen to musicians that have been around for a while too. So, you've also wrote these. By the way. So I go to Vermont for Thanksgiving. My cousin has a place up there, and there's this great bookstore, and it's in Manchester, and it's like on the tip of my tongue. Northshire Bookstore.
Yes,
I walk in
Saratoga.
there, and one of the ones the first thing I always go to is the music section. And there's your book from Lou Reed. I'm like, wait a minute. And I had just met you not long after. I'm like, Caroline, look, this is Will's book.
Nice. Thank you, Northshire.
And I just saw your post this weekend. A teenager was reading your book on the subway. Will,
what a post.
That's amazing.
That was like out of the blue from like a writer, a Times writer actually, who I don't know personally, but really admire her work. And she just posted like, I'm paraphrasing here. I don't know how you judge success, but this 16-year-old has not been able to put your book down all weekend.
Yeah.
And I just, posted back like, that's precisely how I judge success. Thank you.
Yeah.
Both. So
why Lou Reed?
Lou Reed, it honestly came out of my first book, which was Love Goes to Buildings on Fire.
2011?
2011, which was about New York music during a five-year period in the mid-'70s. And Lou Reed was in New York. He was a major figure. He was already kind of a rock star. The Velvet Underground had already broken up. He'd started a solo career. And so he was almost kind of like a godfather of the rock scene, the punk rock scene that came up at the time, in the same way that Miles Davis was kind of a godfather of the jazz scene, the kind of like fusion, out jazz, loft jazz scene that was coming up around that time. So when Lou Reed passed, I had a number of people tell me like, there really isn't an up-to-date, complete biography of Lou Reed. You should do it. And I had never really thought about doing biographies because I think I have ADHD and just could never like lock onto one subject that I would want to spend the amount of time it takes to write a book, for me anyway. Some people can knock them out in a year or two. I take a long time.
How long did that one take?
9 years,
wow,
give or take.
Wow.
The pandemic slowed it down and some other things, health issues and other stuff. But it took a long time. It's a big book. But the reason I decided to go with it was, I just absolutely love the Velvet Underground. I think Lou Reed is one of the great songwriters of, modern times, like as important as Dylan easily.
Yeah.
And so, I saw him as a portal to actually write about New York City arts and music in the post-war era, because he was kind of connected to it all, visual arts and experimental film through Andy Warhol. He was, he married Laurie Anderson years later.
Did you talk to her for the book?
I talked to her prior to the book. She did not participate in the book. It's not an official biography. She and the estate were helpful in small ways, but yeah, she made a point of not participating in any biographies after the fact. Although she did oversee and write, really help direct an oral history of him based around a book that he had actually started about his Tai Chi practice. But that's a really great book, which people should look out for, especially if you're a Lou Reed fan. I think
so. You go about saying, "Okay, I'm committing to writing this book."
Yes.
9 years is a long time.
Yeah. I was certainly doing other things.
Yeah,
like
of course.
earn a living. And
so
you fit it in.
How does one? I mean, you're doing a lot of research. Lou Reed had a massive life of so many different aspects, of his life. Talk about some of that research. Like, you talk to people, you read story. Talk about just coming up with this amazing story about him?
Yeah, well, it's a lot. So organizing. I'm not the most organized guy, so like I had to really impose a structure on myself.
You have an editor, obviously.
Yes, and I would knock off a quarter of the book and
Mm-hmm.
send them what I had, get
Mm-hmm.
feedback, and sort of go from there in quarters. But I started by going out to Freeport, Long Island, and going to the Freeport Public Library, going to the house that he used to live in, which is owned by other people now, tracking down everybody who was still alive and willing to talk to me, and just working my way through. And it takes time to find people, and then it takes time for people to vet you.
Mm-hmm.
So you sort of have to do a few interviews like with friends from high school, and then they'll say, oh, you should talk to this person. And I told them that you seem like, you're going to do a good job with the book.
Right.
And so in a way, playing a long game for a book like this is helpful because there were some people and some things that didn't come along until I was already 6 years into the process.
Wow.
For instance, right before the pandemic, the Lou Reed archives that were basically all of his papers, old recordings, all sorts of stuff that his estate, Laurie Anderson, were looking for a home for. They found a home at the New York Public Library, and the archives opened in the spring, if I'm remembering correctly, the spring of 2019.
How long did you sit in that library?
I spent the summer there, more or less, couch surfing with friends who live in various parts of Manhattan. And it was super wonderful. And, of course...
Perfect timing.
Perfect timing because, by March 2020, that library was closed like all libraries, because of the pandemic. So I wouldn't have been able to get back in there for over another year. But I had my material, so I was able to use that time insofar as I could after doing that research to write and a lot of stuff from there with regard to his later life was super.
How old was he when he passed?
72. Not that old.
Not that old. Yeah.
But yeah, he and other people, some people who I hadn't spoken to early on because they wouldn't respond to my emails or whatever. Some of them came around, and I think I got a very good book from taking the time.
I think you did. You got rave reviews on the book, that's for sure. So you're writing that last sentence, and you put that period, I assume, at the end. And what was that feeling like to spend all this time and to say, that's it, I'm done? What is that feeling like?
That's funny you ask, because most writers I know would probably say something similar, that like it's not over until your editor literally rips the final copy out of your hands. And the last line of the book, and I remember this vividly, I wrote it a couple of years before I finished the book. I mean, a few years before I finished the book. But when I wrote it, I knew that it was going to be the last line of the book. So that was kind of fun. It was actually at, I was blessed enough to be able to spend time at Yaddo in Saratoga Springs, the artists' colony that's been there for decades and decades, which is actually where Lou Reed's poetry teacher and great mentor, Delmore Schwartz, famously did time, for lack of a better word, at Yaddo. But I was at Yaddo, and I remember like watching this video online of Laurie Anderson performing a piece. It was Junior Dad, a Lou Reed song, and using a recording of his voice in like 2016 in Amsterdam, the miracle of YouTube.
Right.
And just the performance was so powerful. It was just her and a cellist.
Wow.
And I wrote, basically a very close description of how that song, how that performance transpired. And I was like, yeah, this feels like the end of the book.
Yeah. Wow. That's beautiful. Yeah. I hope she's read the book.
I hope so.
Yeah. I hope so because it's I am sure 100% you did this book justice. Do you have another one in your head to write about somebody else or another book about anything, or are you just taking a break and doing all these magazines and radio or?
I'm enjoying having a blank slate. The
Good.
paperback came out last October of the Lou Reed book, and this year I've been leaning into a Substack called New Music Plus Old Music, which if you just look up Will Hermes Substack, you'll find it. And that's been super fun because it's sort of like we were talking about college radio. It just lets me write about what I want to write about. I'm still writing for the New York Times or Rolling Stone, and they want me to do this or they want me to do that. And there are things that nobody wants me to do except I want to do them.
Right. And then you're able to do that on Substack.
And I can pop it on my Substack.
Yeah.
And, subscription is free. If you want the full subscription, then it's like, you pony up for the full subscription.
Right.
But it's been super fun. I do playlists. I don't get on radio that much anymore. So
except for here. And you're welcome here anytime, by the way. And
that.
when you hear local music, send it my way because I'd love to get these people on the air. And seriously, because I don't know a lot of all of it. I know plenty of local music and musicians, but like some of these people that you've sent me the music, I don't know them. So send stuff. Email me, Will, and just say, hey, want to give this a spin on LocalMotion? They're playing at Tubby's in October. Sure, I'll do it.
I will.
Because it's so much fun to share this, and that's why I do this show. It's because you're exposing people to an amazing amount of talent that we have coming here in the Hudson Valley, whether they live here or they're coming to perform here. Every day of the week we could go out and see world-class music. You don't have to leave the Hudson Valley.
Right, like we're talking about shows that are coming up this weekend.
Yeah.
Nels Klein, who I know has been on your show.
Yes, twice.
The Wilco guitarist, an amazing jazz guitarist with like a CV that's, the length of the room. He's playing at Tubby's with a band
this weekend
on Friday. Yeah, totally sold out. Of course, like within hours of so yeah, folks, keep an eye on the Tubby's Instagram if you want to get tickets.
And the mailing list.
Yes, and the mailing list because they send out
I missed that
bi-monthly. Yeah, I missed it too.
Will, you can get in there. Come on, you can squeeze in there somehow. I got to follow you and go behind you.
I'll stand around. I'll stand outside on the sidewalk and
exactly. It'll probably be loud enough to where we'll be able to hear that. That's so great.
Totally.
But we're just so lucky in this area. What made you find the Hudson Valley? How did you find it?
How did I find the Hudson Valley? I guess it was like moving away from Brooklyn and then moving back to Brooklyn after being in Minnesota and Northern California and just saying I really liked being able to park my car in front of the house. So I really like, being able to, go hiking without having to spend 55 minutes on the Brooklyn Queens Expressway.
Yeah, in the traffic to get to some
driving north.
Yeah, to get there.
So yeah, it was kind of that.
Yeah. Well, we're lucky to have you here, that's for sure. And we're just lucky to have what we have here in this area. It is, and as much as I love to travel, and I do love to travel, for music, I love being back home, and
well, the thing that's great is that we get so many musicians who are doing bigger shows in New York that you can come up here and see them, in a tiny place, whether it's the Falcon, whether it's the Local, whether it's
because we're that in
Arrowwood.
Between, we're that in between, like we're not this or Albany or the Berkshires or Saratoga, and it's just so we're really in a very.
And who doesn't want to come up and hang out in the area?
I know.
If you're a musician,
I know. I know. And they do. And they record. Never mind listen to all the recording studios we have here as well. Right? I mean, world class. And we have so many of them. I think it's time for music. And I think speaking of Tubby's and speaking of Saturday.
Yes. And this show is not sold out last I checked. Ducks Limited, who are another band that, I have not been familiar with, but I remember my friend DJ Harlan telling me,
I
check out this band.
I met DJ Harlan
Oh,
with you at the local. You
Yes,
guys were
you
hanging
did.
out, and I
Yes.
didn't know either one of
my
you.
partner in the International Vinyl Supper Club, which occasionally will turn up with boxes of
You got stuff going
vinyl
on,
and
the two of you?
turntables.
Anything coming
Yeah,
up?
We do actually.
Talk about it.
A week from Friday at Sonder in Kingston. We'll be playing records from all around the world, and it's a fabulous little restaurant wine bar down the block from Kingston High School on Broadway. Sonder. Great
Sonder.
place.
There you go.
Yeah.
Will Hermes.
So, and it's free.
And it's, I mean, come
Yeah.
on.
I mean, the wine and food isn't free.
Right.
you
But
know,
the entertainment
vibes
is.
are free.
The vibes are free. The entertainment is. Wow, that sounds like a lot of fun. All right, let's play this. Ducks.
Limited.
Yes. Let's take a listen right here, right now on 91.3 WVKR.
Rolling in and out of space when the shaking starts. Walking backwards towards the cave, 20 yards. Smoking 18 cigarettes, giving two away. Thinking smugly, how does anyone smoke a pack a day? Pressed up against over the line, and everyone is being polite. Another half a bottle of wine, lock and key. I'd wanted things to stay, how they would not stay. I'd ask you to explain, but it's not your problem. Oh, I've been in a state, and you don't relate. I wish that I could say where it got me, but it's not me. Still just barely off the train, Central Station. Suddenly it's time to try reflection in shop window. Barely 15 miles away, gilded portico, above which imagine lies daily roll. Resting idle finger on blade, contemplating messes made. Reflexive self-regard overlay, lock and key. I'd wanted things to stay, how they would not stay. I'd ask you to explain, but it's not your problem. Oh, I've been in a state, and you don't relate. I wish that I could say where it got me, but it's not me.
In Reykjavik.
No, exactly. 91.3 WVKR, Independent Radio, Poughkeepsie, New York. We're having too much fun. You might have to come and do this a lot more often. Tell us what we just heard, please, sir.
That was 18 Cigarettes by Ducks Limited, who are going to be at Tubby's in Kingston on Saturday. Their tickets still available. Last I checked.
Tubby's is
not a
in
lot of money.
Kingston, and yeah, their ticket prices don't seem too high. This is a non-commercial radio station, so we can't mention dollar amounts, just like you are familiar with on NPR. You can't mention dollar amounts either.
Right.
So, but it's it's inexpensive. Let's put it that way.
Yes,
And that's what's happening.
and vibes for miles.
Yeah.
We love Tubby's.
Oh my gosh, Will, we have so many great places. And you also, let's talk about some of the, I know
the other
there's
stuff?
great events that are happening at Arrowwood Farms in Accord. Beautiful venue, great vibe, just a really nice place. It's not like what drives me crazy at festivals. Like this is flat because I'm like always scared of like breaking my ankles or something. This is just a really nice, easy to park. It's an easy festival.
So easy, and there is an area where you can stand up by the stage if you want to, but there's also an area where they literally encourage you to bring lawn chairs.
Bravo.
And you can sit there and chill
Yeah, and
with a
hang
drink.
out.
It's a brewery.
It's a brewery.
They have food trucks that are
Excellent.
great.
Excellent food trucks there. Excellent. Parking is so easy. It's literally in the middle of nowhere. It's just a really wonderful place. So what's going on at Arrowwood Farm that I know in July, right? Next weekend, the 26th?
Okay,
There's-
I'm gonna plug 3 things there.
Please.
Because they're batting 1,000 here. Coming up at the end of the month is the Drive-By Truckers, who we're going to hear a song of from
Yes.
in just a minute. And those guys have been doing it for over 20 years. In fact, Southern Rock Opera, which was sort of like their breakthrough magnum opus. I remember we wrote about it at Spin back in the day. It's finally reissued in vinyl for the first time, I think, or at least in properly remastered vinyl for the first time just last year. And I talked to those guys, Patterson Hood, great music nerd, really active on Facebook, totally worth following. And the band, I'm sure, is still ripping. Jason Isbell, who some people may know from his solo work, was a member of
Really?
Drive-By Truckers.
Did
Yes.
not know that.
For a couple of years, he left. He was dealing with some health issues, and he went on to a spectacular career. But he did some amazing work. Some of the great Drive-By Trucker songs are by Jason Isbell. But we're going to hear a song that's, I think, by Patterson. But just real quick, I'll mention that in late August, 2 artists that I love. One I've loved for a very long time, and that's Ani DeFranco, is playing with Hooray for the Riff Raff, a younger band led by Alinda Segarra, who recently played.
Have you
at
interviewed
Levi's.
Ani DeFranco?
I did many years ago. In fact, I was just out in Minneapolis staying at the house of her former road manager, my buddy Dave Paulson. And she's just, when I was living in Minneapolis, she was just coming up. Puddle Dive had just come out, and she was just, she was.
It might be time for another article.
Yes, that woman. There's a documentary film that's either out or coming out about her that I urge people to see. Anyway, she's going to be with Hooray for the Riff Raff, and they're a younger act who are really like kind of in her spirit. That's August 28th at Arrowwood, and then in September is Woods' Festival again. This year is Panda Bear, Built to Spill. Dean Wareham, who is like the leader of Galaxy 500. Damon and Naomi were the other 2 folks. He's going to be playing Galaxy 500 music, and a great band I saw at Tubby's, the Rose City Band, and a band called Witch from Zambia. At least part of them are from Zambia. And we're going to listen to that later. But should we maybe jump in and listen to the Truckers?
Yeah, I think that's what I was just trying to pull up here, and let's do that and listen to the Truckers and tell us again when they're going to be at Arrowwood in Accord.
They're going to be at Arrowwood with Deer Tick, another great kind
great
of like
band.
rootsy country rock band.
Oh. Yep, go ahead.
Bare
It's-
Knuckles on occasion. July 26th, I believe that's a Saturday. Pencil it in. I'm sure tickets are still available.
And that is just like 10 days, not this weekend.
10
It's 10 days.
And it
so
will just be a delightful evening. And,
outside,
yeah.
beautiful Arrowwood
Yeah,
Farms.
and those are, all these guys, super smart lyrics, as well as being, ripping rock and roll. So you got two things going.
Absolutely. Let's take a listen to Drive By Truckers right here, right now on 91.3 WVKR. And we're here with Will Hermes. Hermes. Hermes?
Hermes.
Hermes. Hermes. Will Hermes. Fine, fantastic journalist. Lucky to have him here today. Let's take a listen. 91.3.
Me and my net was as fond as we could be. We were set to marry in October 33. I sat beside the court and her as fine as she could be. I never ever noticed her best friend Mary Lee. Took a job at the sawmill. I bought my girl a ring. Had a pre-wedding party, close friends and family. Everything was fine, eating homemade ice cream. I swear I never noticed maid of honor merely. My sweet Annette was left standing at the altar. My sweet Annette was left standing at the altar. Mary Lee was taken ill, it was several miles from home. Back then it wasn't fitting for a girl to leave alone. Sweet Annette, she asked me to walk her to the door, as innocent as children back before the war. My sweet Annette was left standing at the altar. My sweet Annette was left standing at the altar. Lord, have mercy for what we've done. Lord, have mercy when two people get alone. Neither one of us done anything like that, you see. By the next sunset, I had eloped with Mary Lee. By the next sunset, I had eloped with Mary Lee. By the next sunset, I had eloped with Mary Lee. My sweet Annette was left standing at the altar.
.3 WVKR Independent Radio, Poughkeepsie, New York. Will, who was that?
That was the Drive By Truckers, and that was a song from Decoration Day, which was a song from back in the day. I think Jason Isbell was on Decoration Day. In fact, he wrote the song Decoration Day, but that song was by Patterson Hood, who's really the instigator, main instigator.
The main
of that
instigator.
crew.
And Drive By Truckers, the track we heard was My Sweet Annette. They'll be with Deer Tick on July 26th at Arrowwood Farms in Accord, New York.
Yes.
And And then, like you said, there's a few great festivals happening at Arrowwood. So keep your eyes on that. And keep your eyes on today's guest, Will Hermes. And Will, you're on Substack. You have a website, Will Hermes, HERMES.com. You're on social media as well. And that's always a great way to stay in touch with you. Your Substack, I highly recommend the Substack because it's cool because it comes right to your inbox. Because, we're on social media and we sometimes don't see everything that's on there unless you're on there 24/7, right?
Right. And sometimes it's good to be off of that.
Yeah, for a
honestly.
while. Yeah,
So-
yeah. So Substack.
It's a newsletter, basically.
Yeah, it's a newsletter, but it's really good. I've been really starting to follow Substack since the past few months of this country and this world, and it's just really like reading people that I really want to read about, and it's really interesting just to have that be right in your inbox.
Right. The progressive politics writing on Substack, very strong.
Mhm.
So there's
Yeah.
a lot of like Paul Krugman, if you like him, Heather Cox Richardson,
Yeah,
if you
yeah.
like her work.
Oh my
very
gosh,
important
Robert Reich.
historian.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah.
All
yeah.
these people have Substacks. They're all free
Yep.
for the basic level, which is most of what they write.
Right. And when you get the
Worth
paid
checking out.
level, what does the paid level give you?
With different writers, it's different. You
Mhm.
know, some stuff I will, just put up with no paywall. Other stuff, longer stuff that might take me a long time to work on. Playlists
Mhm.
sometimes are paywalled, not all the time, but
Mhm.
frequently. Just it's value added for people who are supporting it because I don't get paid for it
Mhm.
unless
People
get a
pay.
paid subscription. If
Right.
it's free subscription.
Right.
But,
Right.
it's sort of like getting the word out and writing, which I love to do. And
Do you write every day?
I do some writing every day, probably. Yeah, just about. And
Do you have a journal that you keep?
no, I mean, I've never been a journal keeper. Weirdly,
Mhm.
I kind of like have to have something that I'm going to send out into the world.
Mm-hmm. You have
I
to
guess
have a
that's not
deadline.
true. When I
You
was-
must have a deadline. Yes.
That's where I'm at now.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, do we have time to?
Yes,
mention
but I have
Rock
one more
Fest?
thing because I saw your post, so I know
Oh,
that I can
please.
mention it. You were on a road trip apparently just recently. Your post said, "I was just on a road trip."
Oh,
What road
yes.
trip were you on?
I was on a road trip. I mean, honestly, it was twofold. One was to visit friends in Minneapolis,
Mm-hmm.
and some friends in Chicago along the way. And the other was really to kind of feel like I wanted to take the pulse of the country at this moment in time, because I feel that like after a very long winter and reading very disheartening news every day in the paper, I just wanted to see like what America looked like in 2025 through the limited, view that I would have from getting in the car and going to rest stops, staying in hotels, whatever. And had a great time.
Wow.
Saw some music.
What
little
did
bit
you
of
find
music.
out?
I found out that, virtually all the people that I'm friends with are going through the same struggles and worries and anxieties about, the direction the things are going with, leadership in most cases in this country. And also that, we know how to not think about that. We know how, to be healthy and to prioritize, the people that we love, things that we love doing, like hanging out with friends and seeing music is super important
It is.
for,
It's therapy for me,
Yeah.
seeing live music.
I have friends doing a lot of volunteer work,
Mhm.
which is super encouraging. I went around doing a Meals on Wheels delivery with my friend Dave,
Love
which
that.
was super heartening and educational,
Mhm.
about how many people are living food insecure in your neighborhood that you might have no idea.
You don't have any idea. I've been volunteering with Duchess Outreach here in Poughkeepsie. If anybody ever wants to do anything like that, it's a soup kitchen, and they feed people in need, and all kinds of people in need, and it's right here in our neighborhoods, folks. It's right here. It's right here, you know. So, yeah. So there's definitely organizations that are looking for volunteers and need volunteers and drivers and all that stuff that it takes to make something like that run.
Right.
So
And it will make you feel better.
It does.
To participate.
because you're helping and you really are doing something proactive and you
Yes.
really are helping.
Not doom
It's-
scrolling and
Yeah.
freaking out.
Yeah.
which, you know,
Yeah, and then going into anxiety and depression yourself. It's like
right. I
like
can't do anything, but you
Right.
can.
Right. We can do something locally, and that's really where it does all start, right? Just a phone call, an organization in Dutchess and Ulster, wherever county you might live in. If you're listening in Minneapolis, there's
Yeah.
everywhere.
Yeah.
has-
Read about politics, get your information from different places.
Yes.
And,
Yes. Keep educating yourself and keep learning, and then go do something and go see some live music for yourself, because there's nothing that unites people more than being in a room where you're seeing live music and you're all on the same page, at least for a few hours. Right? And it just
very, very true.
yeah, and that's what it has to do. So I'm so proud of myself. I'm going to remember a legal ID right now because it's 4:59 p.m.
Top of the hour.
It's top of the hour, and we have to do these things. And you are tuned into Local Motion here on 91.3 WVKR. We're broadcasting live from the college at Vassar College, the beautiful campus here at Vassar College. I'm your host, Rita Ryan, here most each and every Wednesday, bringing you Local Motion. The show is all about music and the arts here in the Hudson Valley. And today, thrilled to have with me Will Hermes. I'll get it yet. And he's a distinguished journalist, author of 2 books. Talk about them again. Lou Reed,
the King of New York, and Love Goes to Buildings on Fire, 5 years in New York that changed music forever.
and you can find these at some of I always like to promote local, so local bookstores, they'll have them. Obviously, anywhere else you can go to the big people and get all that stuff there too. But when you can, support local bookstores.
Absolutely.
Right?
Inquiring Mind, Golden Notebook, there are a lot of other ones.
Yeah, Oblong.
Oblong.
Right, yeah.
Doing
Right here in
great work.
Poughkeepsie, 3 Arts. It's like right there. It's so important to support local little businesses, you know.
Absolutely.
So, yeah.
You might pay a few more bucks
Right.
than you do from some mail order services, but you will have a bookstore in your neighborhood.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you won't.
Yeah, otherwise you won't. And it's so important. Like whenever I go to Manchester, it's my cousin's house, it's like always on the thing we do Northshire. We just go to the bookstore.
What a great bookstore.
It really is. And you could spend like a whole day in there, quite honestly. They have a cafe, everything's there. You could spend the downstairs level, you could go upstairs. There's just so much. It's just unbelievable.
And I've never been to that one.
Oh.
The one in Saratoga, I did a book event at back for the first book.
Mhm.
And that's also a good one.
Yeah. Well, let's play one more song, and then we're gonna start the hour off with a whole bunch of great artists that are having shows here in the Hudson Valley. What are we playing now? Should we?
Let's do the Spinanes, and because we did talk about things happening at Arrowwood, we did talk about Woodsist, which is probably going to wind up getting sold out. Which is a great Zambian band, but the Spinanes are basically a singer-songwriter named Rebecca Gates, and she put out a couple of records, which are just among my favorite indie rock records of the 90s. So good. And she is on a bill that's a 3-day festival that happened last year, and I missed it, up in Catskill at the Avalon Lounge, which is, I think it's Lounge.
Yes.
Which is a great bar. They have amazing Korean food, little back room, and I think they
Easy
do
parking.
easy parking, and I think they do some of these shows for Dromfest, which is basically Dromedary Records, one of the great indie record labels of the 90s and the aughts. But they have all these artists that I don't think were actually on their label. So it's 3 days, Friday, August 29th to Sunday, August 23rd, to Sunday, August 31st, 29th through 31st. Getting dyslexic here. And I think Saturday, which has got Yola Tango and my beloved Scrawl and some other artists, might be sold out. But Sunday and Friday also have amazing artists. Friday is Sunburned Hand of the Man, which is this wild, deep, psychedelic band. And Sunday, which is got Rebecca Gates and Das Damen. And I mean, if you don't know any of the band names, go.
Go. Just go.
Yes, because
Do a Danny Melnick and just go.
Yes.
Yes, trust.
Indie rock, the scene will be amazing, and you will have fun and get some Korean food at Avalon.
At Avalon. Yeah, it is yummy. Let's take a listen right here, right now. 91.3 WVKR.
Heard like a ham radio. You're a landmine, waiting for someone to creep up from behind. Play peculiar to give you room to slide. The light is listing on you now. It's not easy. Simple stutter at everyone you see. Play superior to give you room to leave. Such a wreck. You're staring face down at the ground. There's a sound for you. Smoking mazes, sweating sunrise. Nickel highs shifting inside your eyes. Try a little easiness. Try accepting largesse. Been on down, you're not such a wreck.
91.3 WVKR Independent Radio, Poughkeepsie, New York. I love live radio, Will.
Yes.
There's
And
nothing that beats it.
punk rock, it goes fast.
Yeah, it does. And we just heard Uneasy by the Spinanes.
Yes, Rebecca Gates, who will be playing at Drumfest end of August in beautiful
Catskill.
New York.
Yes.
Check it out. There's still tickets left. It's going to be a great festival.
Yeah, that is going to be a great festival. Will Hermes Substack is really a great way to keep up with his writing. And if you love music, you're going to want to really get connected to Will, because musicologist is the first word that comes to when I think of you. Your knowledge is so vast and so broad and over so many decades. And I can't even imagine how many concerts you've been to.
I like to share my obsessive compulsive disorder with
love that.
folks, and
I love
hopefully
that.
you get something out of it. In fact, the latest post is a 99 song playlist of just songs that have come out in 2025 that are, I love them all. You will no doubt love some of them, but no paywall. So you
I
can just
love that.
fire it up. Spotify, Apple Music, or YouTube Music. You can use any platform.
And Will is also a DJ. And you're going to be with Harlan. Where are you going to be again?
Yes, DJ Harlan and myself will be at Sonder a week from Friday. Sonder is in Kingston. It is a lovely little restaurant, small dish wine bar. And so the date on that would actually be Friday, July 25th. Come join us. It's free.
Yeah.
And say hi. The music we'll be digging deep in the crates, a lot of 1970s West African high life and
How much
Southeast
fun.
Asian psychedelia and,
Oh man, so
and
much
British
fun.
folk rock. All
So
sorts of
much
stuff.
fun. Will Hermes, HERMES.com. Instagram, Facebook, Substack is really cool because then you get it right into your inbox and you can really read a lot about all the music and go buy his books, preferably locally if you can. But however you buy them, and it's 9 years of your life is a long time to commit to something. So I hope people, I know they've been reading it obviously, and it's gotten rave reviews, the Lou Reed book. So, Will, I so appreciate your time here, and it's really been a pleasure and an honor. And let's do more of this. Maybe we'll do like a year-end show or something, and we'll talk like together. It's just coming to mind. This is how I operate. Maybe come back in December, and we'll talk like the best of the Hudson Valley or like stuff like that.
Oh, I'd be delighted to. I'll be thinking about it because I'm an end of year list maker.
Perfect,
guy.
and that would be great. Okay, boom. I already
Super
booked.
fun.
I booked
Done.
the last show of the year already. I'm good.
Deal.
Okay, we'll figure out a date. That's great. Will, thank you for your time here today.
Thanks, Rita.
And yeah, my
been a
pleasure.
blast.
My pleasure. And by the way, folks, if you missed part of this interview, would like to hear it all over again, I will be uploading it tonight to the LocalMotion on 91.3 WVKR Facebook page as well as YouTube. If you give a subscribe and a like to those, that's always appreciated. And in the meantime, we start out each and every hour here where we don't have a guest by paying tribute to Tony Falco from the Falcon in Marlborough. He passed away October 27th of 2021. And one of the things he left was a playlist with some really good music on it. I'm still learning music from Tony because last week the track I played, I had never heard of it before. This one I've heard of. I think most of us have. But let's start this hour out with a track that Tony uploaded, and I play them in the order that he uploaded. So let's take a listen to this right here, right now. You'll know it, I promise. And if I can get the mouse to work, we can really start on here on the music. Dear, my goodness. Okay. It's going to happen. I know it's going to happen. There we go. I don't know what's going on. Every once in a while I have technical issues, and it's like, thankfully, I've been doing this for 10 years, and it just like rolls over me. If I did this like my first year, I would have lost my mind. But folks, thanks for bearing with me. I can't get the mouse to work, Will.
Indication of your utter sincerity. So people look for things that have glitches and seams
And
because that's where the good stuff is.
It is. Thank you, Will. Thank you. Keep talking now. No, we're going.
Well,
we're good.
we're talking. Are you good?
We're
'Cause
good.
I could talk about how this Saturday there was Zumbians,
Yes.
a Ghanaian music group whose sound echoes the famous Ghanaian group Osibisa, are going to be playing at the Falcon.
They're amazing. I've seen them before.
Yeah, free by donation.
By donation, live at
You got the money, you can
thefalcon.com.
go.
Yeah.
If you give a donation, it would be very, very welcome. and
Absolutely, absolutely. And live at thefalcon.com. I will mention that during my musical segments, musical happening segments. And speaking of the Falcon, this came off of Tony's playlist. Let's take a listen to you too, right here, right now on 91.3. And thank you, Will, for covering 91.3 WVKR.
In a little while, surely you'll be mine. In a little while, I'll be there. In a little while, this hurt will hurt no more. I'll be home, love. When the night takes a deep breath and the daylight has no end. If I crawl If I come crawling home, will you be there? In a little while, I will blown by every breeze, riding and running to Sunday on my knees. That girl, she's mine. Well, I've known her since she was a little girl with Spanish eyes. Oh, when I saw her in a pram they pushed her by. Ooh, my, how you grown. Well, it's been a little while. Slow down my beating heart. Man dreams one day to fly. A man takes a rocket ship into the skies. He lives on a star that's dying in the night and follows in the trail, the scatter of light. Turn it on, turn it on, you turn me on. Yeah. Slow down my beating heart. Slowly, slowly, love. Slow down my beating heart. Slowly, slowly, love. Slow down my beating heart. Slowly, slowly, love.
.3 WVKR Independent Radio, Poughkeepsie, New York. We are having a little technical issue. We just heard you two, but I'm going to really come back and try to get this. Let's take a listen to this. These guys are going to be at the Falcon on Saturday. We'll talk more in a few minutes. The Mahavishnu Project here on 91.3.
Hey, ladies, if you want to drop 20 pounds.
.3 WVKR. We're getting there, folks. We're getting there. Stay tuned. It's worth it. I promise it's worth it. And it's really strange. I'll come back and tell you something someday here about this, but it's just a little technical glitch, but we're getting there. 91.3. Here we go. 91.3 WVKR Independent Radio, Poughkeepsie, New York. The Mahavishnu Project, Return to the Emerald Beyond is the album. We heard the track called Faith. They are going to be performing at the Falcon in Marlborough this Sunday. As Will, my guest today, said, Saturday at the Falcon is going to be the Wazoobians. Friday, Johnny Rosh and Friends. Thursday, Larry Bellerin and Joe Troop. And tonight at the Falcon is Sway Wild. So lots of great music happening at the Falcon. It's by donation only. Tickets are not needed. You go visit liveatthefalcon.com and make a reservation right there. And thank you again to today's guest. Boy, was that a lot of fun. We already booked the year-end show while he was here. Will Hermes will be back on December 17th. He's an incredible journalist. Has written for, Rolling Stone, Spin. He does great Substack. He wrote the Lou Reed book. He's a really great journalist and music lover and just knows his music. So we're going to do a year-end best of show here on December 17th. So in the meantime, I know that's a long time away, but that's the way we roll here. I'm going to keep the music flowing right now. This performer, I have really just started learning about her about a year ago, and she's got a new album coming out, and she's going to be a guest on this show in September. This music is now unreleased, but I'm allowed to play it for you. And the album is called The Commuter, and let's listen to the track by Jenna Nichols. She's going to be performing on July 26th at the Town Crier. We'll talk more, but really digging this girl's voice and her music. Let's take a listen right here on 91.3 WVKR.
Oh, I lost my gal from Memphis. She's gone to Caroline. I know just who she went with, a dear old pal of mine. I ought to hop a choo-choo. I know I ought to go. I'd love to find my baby, but my funds are awful low. My gal, why did she leave me? Sweet gal, I'm missing her so. Memphis as good as her around. I've lost my gal from Memphis, that's why I feel low down. She fooled me, sweet gal, I'll never forget. Oh, I lost my gal from Memphis, I think I'll take my life. No, I'll do something better, I'll go home to my wife. Has she got those eyes? Can she roll them too? That's what she can do, like nobody could. Let me tell you this, they were mighty good to me. My gal, why did she leave me? Sweet gal, I'm missing her so. There ain't no gal in Memphis as good as her around. I've lost my gal from Memphis, that's why I feel low down. Oh, that's why I feel low down. did you know? You got my attention when you walked through the door. And little would I know that wrapped in your affection, I would be reborn. Now I'm letting you know, baby, you're the one that I adore. And it feels so good, feels so good loving you, feels so good, feels so good. Oh, unexplained, it never ceases to amaze what love can do, how it pulls you through, oh, how it pulls you through. Because of all the love you give, I'm so free in my own skin, and I'm stronger now than I've ever been. All I want are your tomorrows, baby. Where you go, my love will follow. 'Cause it feels so good, feels so good loving you, feels so good, feels so good. Oh, my love, never felt this way before. Never felt this way before. No, feels so good, feels so good loving you, feels so good, feels so good. I feel so good, feels so good. I feel so good loving you. I feel so good,
.3 WVKR Independent Radio, Poughkeepsie, New York. Natalie Forteza, feels so good. She's got a lovely voice. She is going to be performing on July 26th. She is opening for Jerry Harrison and Adrian Ballou of the Talking Heads at the Ridgefield Playhouse in Ridgefield, Connecticut. And ridgefieldplayhouse.com for tickets and info to that show on Saturday, July 26th. And again, congratulations for such a nice bill that you've got there, Natalie Forteza. Feels so good. We also heard the lovely and talented Jenna Nichols. And apparently, thank you, Mark, the album is now released as of today. The album is called The Commuter, and we heard the track called I Lost My Girl from Memphis. Jenna Nichols, you'll get to see the opportunity to see her perform live on July 26th at the legendary Town Crier in Beacon, New York. She'll be there along with the Hot Club of Cowtown. Tickets available at towncrier.com, and that's town spelled with an E, crier.com, for the lovely and talented Jenna Nichols. I'm also really looking forward to playing a lot more of that album because she's going to be a guest here on the show in September. Jenna Nichols will be my guest on September 17th. So stay tuned for that one, and we'll look forward to having Jenna. I'm not sure if she's coming in the studio or on the phone, but I really look forward to playing this album. It's really, she's got a lovely voice, and check it out. It's The Commuter. You can purchase it. It's released today, and what a talent. And again, she'll be here on LocalMotion on the 17th. And folks, right now, we're going to be doing a ticket giveaway. One very, very lucky listener is going to get a pair of tickets to go to the 25th annual Jazz in the Valley. It's a really cool event. I've been there the last few years, and it's held in Poughkeepsie at Warriors Park, right on the riverfront. And it's in between the two bridges, also known as the Mid-Hudson Bridge and the walkway over the Hudson. And it is a beautiful place to see a concert. There's a huge tent. It's jazz all day. It's on the 16th. They're doing one event, and on the 17th is the full concert. So Jazz in the Valley, Warriors Park, giving away a pair of tickets for Sunday, August 17th. The performers include Craig Harris, Javon Jackson, Lenny White, Lisa Fisher, Orrin Evans, and so many more. Tickets and info available at jazzinthevalley.org. It's really a wonderful day. There's some great food trucks that are on scene, and just a really wonderful vibe. And you're really on the Hudson River listening to music and jazz all day long. August 17th is the date. If you can check your calendar, if you want to go, all you have to do is give us a call right here. Your tickets will be on a will call list at the event. Again, it's happening August 17th in Poughkeepsie at Warriors Park, and it's called Jazz in the Valley. And this is their 25th annual concert. And again, Craig Harris, Javon Jackson, the legendary drummer Lenny White. He's been on this show before. Lisa Fisher will be there, Orrin Evans, and a whole bunch more. jazzinthevalley.org. If you'd like to go, give us a call. 845-437-7178 for 2 tickets. A pair of tickets, I should say, right? 1 pair of tickets to Jazz in the Valley, Warriors Park, August 17th. 845-437-7178. One extremely lucky listener will get to go to see Jazz in the Valley. Give us a call, 845-437-7178. Let's take a listen now to one of the performers that will be at Jazz in the Valley. This is Javon Jackson right here. 845-437-7178, 91.3.
is right in front of me. All this time I've been knocking on every door. All this time not knowing what I'm looking for. Maybe truth, maybe love, maybe harmony, or an anchor in drifting sea. We started out as friends, trying to pretend we could hold the line. Can we finally end this masquerade after all this time? All this time when I was lost to darker days. All this time I could have thrown it all away, but you stayed unafraid. You believed in me and the light of our destiny. We started out as friends, trying to pretend we could hold the line. Can we finally end this masquerade after all this time? All this time, every day that we have lived. All this time, I'm gonna cherish every breath, every smile, every touch to fill this heart of mine. And I've loved you for all this time.
.3 WVKR Independent Radio, Poughkeepsie, New York. The one and only Larry Campbell, Teresa Williams, the album called All This Time, title track from that album. And Larry and Teresa will be performing with Roseanne Cash and her husband, John Leventhal, this Sunday in Kingston. I don't know, there may be a few tickets left. You can always check out the Assembly in Kingston. Again, Larry Campbell, Teresa Williams, Roseanne Cash, and John Leventhal, a show not to be missed. Larry and Teresa, of course, just incredible people, incredible performers, so much fun to see live. And we're lucky to have them right here in the Hudson Valley when they're not traveling all around the country and sometimes around the world. Larry and Teresa also will be, they were the first ever guests here on LocalMotion. So I never forget that. And it was so much fun. And they've been on numerous times since. Have to get them back on in the fall, hopefully sometime. But better yet, go see them live. Larry and Teresa, this Sunday evening. Show starts at 8 o'clock at the Assembly in Kingston. Hope to see some of you there. Also, congratulations to today's ticket winner, David from West Milford, PA. Wow. I love that. You know, you can listen to radio anywhere nowadays. It doesn't matter what the dial says. So David and a friend are going to be going to Jazz in the Valley, happening Sunday, August 17th at Warriors Park in Poughkeepsie. It's right on the Hudson River between the walkway over the Hudson and the Mid-Hudson Bridge. And it's a wonderful day. The gates open at 11. The show starts at noon, featuring Jasmea Horn, Bobby Sanabria, featuring Javon Jackson, Lenny White, Lisa Fisher, Orrin Evans, Dr. Eddie Henderson, John Patitucci, Jazz in the Valley. And again, congratulations to David from West Milford, New York, coming up to Poughkeepsie for the day on August 17th. And folks, stay tuned. I'm going to have another pair of tickets to that event next Wednesday. As a matter of fact, next Wednesday, I'm having 3 pairs of tickets to various different shows. So tune in next week because it's going to be a lot of great tickets to go out and see some live music and experience some of that right here in the Hudson Valley. This Saturday at the Spiegel Tent at Bard College, the band Ola Tuja. Oh, they're wonderful. I was able to see them. They'll be playing at the Spiegel Tent. Let's take a listen to Ola Tuja right here, right now on 91.3 WVKR.
In isolation and irritation, caught in motion, need a breakthrough. So much frustration, so much confusion, tired of losing. Here comes the sun, here comes the moonlight, here comes the rain, here comes the moment shining bright. Open your eyes, no need to look far. Look in the mirror, know who you are. Oh, boba, oh, na, 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 na. Oh, boba, oh, na, 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 na. Oh, boba, oh, na, 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 na. Oh, boba, know who you are. Deregulation in meditation, concentration on the next move. A broken nation, a reputation, retaliation, elation, reaching for elevation, graduation. We paid our dues. So much frustration, so much confusion, tired of losing. Here comes the sun. Here comes the moonlight. Here comes the rain. Here comes the moment shining. Open your eyes. Know who you are. Oh, na, 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 na. Oh,
Well, if I ever reach the top, or if I sank to the bottom like a cement block, if everything stays sweet just like it is, or if I'm ever thinking about calling it quits, I'll reach down deep inside my soul, and I remember something I was told. God ain't done with Every time you win, every time you lose, there's a guarantee with every evening sun. Nothing lasts and God ain't done. Who knows what lies around the bend? Old enemies become new friends. But what goes up must come back down, and everything comes back around. I could not say no, I don't know just how your story's gonna go. God ain't done with you. From the time you're born to the time you're through, there's a guarantee with every evening sun. Nothing lasts and God ain't done. God ain't done with you. From the time you're born to the time you're through, there's a guarantee with every evening sun. Nothing lasts and God ain't done.
91.3 WVKR. Lucas Nelson, Ain't Done is the track of what we just heard. Lucas Nelson will be right here in Poughkeepsie on July 23rd at the Bardavon, the beautiful Bardavon Opera House. Tickets available to see Lucas Nelson at bardavon.org, and great lineup coming up there. We also heard Ola Tuja, the track called Royalty. Ola Tuja will be performing at Bard College's Spiegel Tent this Saturday night. An amazing place to see a show, an amazing band. Excuse me. Sorry, live radio, folks. So Ola Tuja at the Spiegel Tent. Bard also, the Spiegel Tent tomorrow night also has some bluegrass happening, and just a really great show, place to see a show at Bard College's Spiegel Tent. It's a unique venue unlike anything else. Tickets and info at fishercenter.bard.edu, and then just look for Spiegel Tent. And I'm going to do musical happenings. We're getting towards the end of our show, so what we do at this point is do what's called musical happenings, and we list some of our area venues in alphabetical order in the hopes that you go check out some live music and see the beauty of music that is held in this beautiful area that we call the Hudson Valley. Let's start up in Kingston with the Assembly. The Assembly in Kingston, tickets and info at assemblykingston.com. Tonight, July 16th, White Denim. July 20, Larry and Teresa with Roseanne Cash and John Leventhal. July 23, Bonnie Light Horseman. The Back Bar in Hudson at 347 Warren Street. It's a jazz series happening every Monday at 7 p.m. at Back Bar Hudson. Bardavon and UPAC. Info and tickets at bardavon.org. July 23rd, Lucas Nelson. August 9th, Mary Chapin Carpenter and Brandy Clark. Bearsville Theater in Woodstock, also at bearsvilletheater.com. July 18th, Southern Avenue. July 21, Dean Johnson and Erin Ray. Bethel Woods Center and at bethelwoodscenter.org. July 19th, Almost Queen. July 20, Def Leppard. Caramore in Katona and caramore.org. July 19th, Molly Tuttle. July 20, The Knights and Chris Thiele. July 26th, Jazz Festival. City Winery Hudson Valley in Montgomery, New York, and at citywinery.com. July 18th, Broadway Rave. July 27th, Stella Blues Band. Colony in Woodstock, also at colonywoodstock.com. Their beer garden is open. Visit the website for a list of shows happening in the beer garden. Tonight in the ballroom, Gabriel Butterfield and the Tone Masons. Thursday, Cosmic Guilt. Friday, the Brighton Beat. Saturday, Jeffrey Gaines with Belle Skinner. Sunday is Sat Sang. And every Monday is an open mic at Colony. The Falcon in Marlborough and live at thefalcon.com. Tonight, Sway Wild. Thursday, Larry Bellerin and Joe Troop. Friday, Johnny Rosh and Friends. Saturday, the Wanzubiums. And Sunday, the Mahavishnu Project. Fisher Center at Bard College and fishercenter.bard.edu. July 17th, Jason Carter Band in the Spiegel Tent. July 18th, Tina Frimmel in the Spiegel Tent. And July 19th, Ola Tuja in Spiegel Tent. Jazz Forum in Tarrytown and at jazzforumarts.org. July 18 and 19, Peter Bernstein Quartet. The Maverick in Woodstock and at maverickconcerts.org. July 19th, Adam Tendler. July 20, Pacifica Quartet. Opus 40 in Saugerties and at opus40.org. July 18th, Yaisen Landero. August 3rd, Afro Psychedelic Futurists, BCUC. The Stissing Center in Pine Plains, also at thestissingcenter.org. July 17th, Galen Pittman Jazz Quartet. Tarrytown Music Hall in Tarrytown, also at tarrytownmusichall.org. July 18th, Roseanne Cash. July 19th, Eagle Mania. July 25th, The High Kings. Town Crier in Beacon and towncrier.com. Every Thursday, an open mic. Friday on the Salon stage, Raquel Vidal. On the main stage, Sharky and the Sparks. Saturday on the main stage, Best of the 70s with Dizzy Fish and the Uptown Horns. Sunday brunch with the Grateful Duo, and Sunday evening, Songwriters in the Round. Last but not least, Jazz in the Valley, Warriors Park, Poughkeepsie, August 16 and 17, featuring Craig Harris, Javon Jackson, Lenny White, Lisa Fisher, Orrin Evans, and more. Info and tickets at jazzinthevalley.org. Whew, that's quite a list. Next Wednesday, I am going to give away 3 pairs of tickets to 3 different shows. So not going to want to miss that. If you missed today's conversation with Will Hermes, give us a listen later on YouTube. We'll be uploading the interview to that, as well as on the LocalMotion on 91.3 WVKR Facebook page. If you give a like and a follow and a subscription to those, that's always appreciated. And Will, that was a really fun show today with Will, and he's quite the musicologist, journalist, music writer, and we've booked him for the last show of the year here on LocalMotion.